let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright everyone, welcome back. This is Ro16 with Elaine Sun. Thanks for tuning into iCCup Television as we continue to cover the Gigabyte StarsWar 6. This is the round of 16. It's going to be Jinro versus MC, game number 2. Jinro is going to be in the red Terran in the top right hand corner. His opponent MC is going to be in the blue in the bottom left as the Protoss player. We are on Tal'Darim Altar, cross positions. And of course MC is up 1-0 after a trademark MC 2-base timing attack. Jinro did look like he wanted to try and punish the early expansion from MC, but just got a little bit too over-eager with his units. Lost a lot of the Marauders when he tried to attack up that ramp, and then just made it really difficult for him because MC had that extra base over him. So we'll see how he goes to play on Tal'Darim Altar, as the map is considerably different. And once again, thank you to Gigabyte, gigabyte.com, for sponsoring this tournament.
Right. Amazing how many solid motherboards, as well as customer support, BIOS, etc., etc. They also make plenty of other hardware, but this tournament is mainly sponsored by their killer series of motherboards. So I believe the entire tournament was played on whichever server would be most fair to both players. So if one was in Korea and one was on US, they would play on EU. Since Jinro and MC are both in Korea, I believe this would play on the Korean server, so I'm surprised that Jinro is actually complaining about heavy lag.
Yeah, this was actually played in the Korean server, because if you look at the replays, both their names are in Korean. Both the races listed on the replay are in Korean. So it was played over there in Korea. I don't know, maybe it was just a bad connection that day. It happens.
From the same house.
Oh yeah, they might have even been in the same house. I don't know. Because they are in the same practice house. OGS and TL do share the same practice house. They live together. So I really don't know.
Of course, they do go to, PC cafes all the time.
Yeah, maybe one of them was at a PC buying and the net was being weird. I don't know. But as we look back to Jinro, waiting to see if he's going to go for anything crazy like the last game, looks like he's actually just skipping his gas and going for a fast command center, as he is getting up to around the 300 mineral mark. Yeah. So we're going to see a quick expansion from Jinro. And on the other side of the field of MC, second gas is on the way. But with MC, that just means he's able to get more sentries, so nothing quite out of the ordinary just yet.
Right, this is pretty safe on this map since it is enormous. Of course, with Protoss, map distances don't matter as much. You can hide, 3 gateways apparently, and just warp gate in units with a proxy pylon. So Jinro has to be pretty good about scouting to make sure that doesn't happen. It's not really MC's MO. He does like a slightly later timing push, but definitely has to be on the lookout for that regardless. Stalker does pick off that SCV, scouting SCV, so he's free to, show us what he's going to do. Has a Stalker queued all the way to across the map. Stalker is heading out now, going to be able to scout what Jinro is doing. He's going to be able to see this bunker, see that he's going for a fast expansion. Might go for one himself.
Yeah, it's interesting. MC really likes his 2-base timings. It's kind of his trademark. He's just going to scout out Jinro, and when he does see that almost done command center in a bunker, he is sitting pretty much at 400 minerals, so he is going to drop his own Nexus pretty much immediately. This time Jinro did get the drop on him expansion-wise. He's going to have that really nice advantage because his orbital command's almost done right when MC's Nexus is hitting, the 25% mark. So he's got to have a really nice lead economically. He's going to be able to get more units out. He's not going to get caught in that same position last game where he just didn't have enough units. So hopefully we'll see a little bit better of a game here between these two players, but Jinro will have his own 2-base timing opportunity coming up here. But he has 4 barracks, and MC just dropped that Nexus, and we'll see if he goes for it.
I think we might see some more gateways dropped. I'm hoping we might see more gateways drops and see a classic MC build, but that has been so well figured out. Of course, it's less effective against Zerg now that they've figured out Burrow, but it's pretty effective against Terran still, especially when he's going for ridiculously heavy, bio-heavy composition. Because those force fields, if MC can divide Jinro's units up perfectly, no matter how many more units Jinro has, unless he just has an overwhelmingly huge army compared to MC, he will, generally lose that. And, it's really difficult to get ahead of MC in macro. As we saw last game, Jinro fell behind in macro, particularly because he chose to tech so heavily.
Yeah, and if we look back into Jinro's base, he's just dropping another bunker. He's not going to try and take advantage of the fact that he does have the early macro advantage. He will have more units. So he's not going to go for that possible timing window. You can see 2 reactors on the way. And
Dark Shrine.
Dark Shrine?
He's going for a robotics facility and a Dark Shrine, actually.
Oh, but look at this. He scans the robotics, like right on top of it. He sees the gateways with the robotics facility. So he's going to expect something a little bit more typical of MC, and then down here in the bottom left-hand corner of his base, there's just a Dark Shrine warping in, because it takes about a year to warp in, because it's really slow, but they're coming, I promise, soon.
There's an eBay, and if he does actually spot them before they get to his base, he can put down turrets in reaction. But, he has no factory yet, never mind a StarsWar, so there's Ravens out of the question, but at least he does have the eBay, so he can put down turrets. Jinro is probably going to be preparing for a Colossus push, though. This could be really scary for him.
Yeah, that's the issue with that scan, is seeing the robotics. He's probably going to be expecting, like, the Colossus, like you said. Oh, but look at this. He's making a warp prism from the robotics facility. So he's going to be able to warp in Dark Templars, load them up in the warp prism, go for the Dark Templar drop, but then warp in, Zealots.
I was just going to say, there's a single choke for these 2 bases, so if you put a single turret, that could have covered it. So it would have been better to use a warp prism, and, as I was thinking that, he makes a warp prism, I'm like, oh no, Jinro's in trouble now, because first of all, his army is now out of position, and second of all, he won't be able to just cover the entire base with a single turret at the front. He needs to put turrets down everywhere that Dark Templar can do damage. And
now he's actually pushing out across the map at the same time, leaving his base vulnerable to Dark Templars.
Right, no turrets, no detection. I mean, he does have scans saved up. There's nothing in him to kill this Dark Templar, even if he did scan.
Yeah, look at those force fields cutting off a decent amount of Marines, so he can possibly take those out, but he's going to have to use some Dark Templars just to defend his base. On the other side of the map, you can see all of the SCVs coming off the main mineral line because of that Dark Templar, and Jinro's actually withdrawing that huge force because he knows that it's going to be tough for him to attack up into Dark Templars, and he wants to be able to defend his base. So Dark Templars doing a little bit of economic damage and stopping that attack by Jinro dead in its tracks. Even though he didn't kill that many workers,
you
can see only 13 workers killed by those Dark Templars, which, I mean, given that they're DTs, that's not a whole lot. He was able to stop that attack, which was going to be a major issue, so even just that is going to be a win, and now he's taking out the reactor. Those take so long to build. Anytime you can focus those down, it's going to be really helpful.
MC is just sending an endless supply of Dark Templar in because he knows that Jinro is low on scan energy. If he just keeps sending them in relentlessly, he's not going to be able to hold up. I mean, even if he does hold up, he's going to spend a ton of energy dropping scans instead of mules, and MC is going to be able to take this third base and get ahead in macro.
Yeah, and if you look in the top right-hand corner, there's still a warp prism lurking up there. So he's got, the missile turret in his mineral line. He's got the other one next to his natural command center, but there's still a possibility that this warp prism can sneak in, warp in some zealots into that mineral line while Jinro sends his army across the map for a second time. He's got the Dark Templar just sitting here. He's going to be able to use that as a spotter, see when Jinro's army leaves, and then possibly go for some sort of warp-in shenanigans like that. So we'll see if he does continue to apply the pressure like that. There's a third base just started for MC at the same time, and his unit count is looking a little bit better, as we can see him almost 30 supply ahead of Jinro.
Right, he's also ahead on upgrades. He's already got his 1-1. Jinro has only had 1 eBay the entire time with dealing all of these Dark Templar, only +1 attack. I'm kind of worried about him taking this third base, though, because the more he spreads out, the more vulnerable he is to that Warp Prism Dark Templar harass. it's going to be able to do a great job of giving MC ridiculous map control. He has these observers on the map as well as Dark Templar, while Jinro is confined to his base because if he moves out, he has to have scans to be able to back up that move out.
Yeah, look at this. Stalkers moving out with the blink upgrade done. Looked like they were going to try and circle around and blink up the cliff here to the natural, but of course he doesn't need vision for that. Don't know where his observer is. It is here in the center of the map. So he does actually withdraw. He's not going to try anything crazy like that because I think he saw some units moving around with the Dark Templar. This Dark Templar has killed a good number of units just by sitting there. It had 4 kills before Jinro had said, I've got enough of that, and killed it. And there's another Dark Templar here on the watchtower. Using Dark Templars to hold towers is just such a great idea. Any small unit that comes by to take the tower is going to go down. He's going to force a scan just to take the tower. So all of these scans going down means that Jinro basically has no mules if you look around. And that's a big deal when you open up the income tab. MC is very far ahead in the mineral income because he's forcing so many scans out of Jinro.
Well, also because he's had a 20 to 30 harvester lead ever since ending those Dark Templar in the first place. And Jinro has not been able to make up the differential since MC has stayed ahead of him on bases and chrono boosting out probes.
Yeah, this Warp Prism is still sitting here. I wonder if he's just waiting for the opportune moment, if it's just going to sit there until the late game. But there is a drop in the third base of MC. 3 Marauders and 2 Marines actually forcing all the probes away and going to work on anything that's left. He is going to have to lift up and fly away. He's going to try and get into the main, but MC's on top of that already. Already has several Stalkers waiting for it. Great job by him making sure that he cannot drop into the main and a secondary attack. And MC's actually going for Storm. We don't see the rush to Storm that often anymore after the amulet changes. But he's going for it anyways, and he's going to get those Templars out on the field. With the fact that he's ahead, that could work rather well.
On 4 bases, I'm not sure if I would say that's a rush, but definitely skipping Colossus, which really isn't necessary because he's had Jinro so confined this entire time with Dark Templar that he hasn't had to worry about holding off pushes. And you know, Colossus are generally for that mid-game time when Terran can do such awesome timing pushes and just catch you off guard. And Colossus are really helpful for taking out these small drops. But since he's been so on top of Jinro, just attacking him, constantly keeping him on his toes with the Dark Templar, constantly keeping ahead in macro, he's really not had to do that. He can go straight for the Storm research.
Yeah, if you look at it, Jinro's actually has ghosts on the field. Just to deal with these Dark Templars that are everywhere. He doesn't want to keep using scans. So he's got the ghosts. He's going to be able to EMP anything that's cloaked to reveal it and be able to start calling down mules again. So that's actually a really good decision by Jinro. Even if he doesn't EMP the army, it's going to work out quite well for him. And the fact that his income looks much, much better now. If you look at that, even though he's behind in workers, he's just about even. This small force by Jinro is going to get caught by a lot of Stalkers, get taken out by a nice blink. And then MC is going to be able to get away before he loses too many units. Great job by him skirmishing here just to get more and more of an advantage. And that is a large number of Zealots. That is, in fact, quite a few as we look at the units tab. That's 27 Zealots. There are 6 High Templar on the field. Do you see the medevac has circled around the map and is trying to get the 4th base of MC, but MC's on top of it. Blinks in, takes it out. Jinro attacking in on the 3rd at the same time. He's only getting a pylon. And he's keeping MC busy while he is maxed, but if MC just leaves a couple units behind and goes for a push, this could be quite deadly to Jinro.
Right, MC doesn't really have, I mean, he's been saving energy in his Templar for a while, so he has plenty of storms saved up, actually. If he goes and engages Jinro now, if he gets some, money storms off, he could be in a lot of trouble. Jinro has to be so careful with these ghosts.
Yeah, he's really going to be relying on the ghosts, but I actually see 2 with the army here. The others do look like they're sitting back and defending. There's a 3rd coming to join the party, so he is bringing all the ghosts forward now, and he is going to get caught by MC with half his army away. Zealots are going to be charging in. EMPs going off everywhere, but with the EMP changes, he doesn't completely eliminate the energy on the sentries. So MC does drop some good force fields down onto Jinro. He's pushing forward. Great feedbacks on the Medivacs, and the charge lots still just continually pursuing the remaining bio units. Great blink by MC. The entire army of Jinro just getting dominated there. MC down only about 35 supply, and Jinro's all the way back down to 132. He's sitting in a really great position, as it looks like he's just going to push immediately across the map and go for the counterattack.
Right, Jinro really didn't get the best EMPs off. I mean, he kept waiting on those Templar to come out, but instead he ended up having to use his EMPs on the regular forces as well as a few sentries before his ghosts died. So that really allowed MC a huge advantage, as well as his normal food advantage from just, out macroing him so hard. Takes out this extra base that Jinro's trying to put up. Jinro is like in so much trouble right now.
Yeah, look at that, blinking forward, trying to focus down the ghost. He does get one. Second one only has one shot left on it, and he's able to take out, a couple of the ghosts before they could even EMP. Great job there by MC. They're so small units, they can be difficult to focus fire in the bio balls like that, but he did manage to do it. He is losing a lot of units here because of the really great positioning of Jinro, so he is going to be forced back, but still taking out those ghosts is going to be very helpful as you look back. He's producing 3 Colossus at a time right now. So now he's switching over to Colossus. He still has Templar on the field. He's really going for the throat now, going for Storm, Colossus, and charge lots with Blink Stalkers.
He didn't bring his Templar with that push into Jinro's base, though. I was very surprised. I mean, you do need those Templar to deal with, Protoss in late game relies so heavily on their tech, on their Colossus, on their Templar, and he didn't have those with that push. But now, of course, at home, he has these 9 Templar, or 11 now, and 3 Colossus, as well as more on the way, so really not afraid. But maybe I think he actually sacked all of those units so he could get this Colossus Templar out at home.
But he just remade a bunch of Zealots, so maybe he just wanted to get rid of the Stalkers? But he remade Stalkers too. I don't know. I guess he was just trying to do as much damage as he could because he can reproduce it immediately. Right. You can see he's going for the double expansion. Just trying to apply pressure, take out as much supply of Jinro as he can. He's really far ahead. He's able to remax almost immediately. And we do have some drop action going on from Jinro. He's going to take out one of these Nexus before it can finish. Probably the other one too, but now MC, knowing that there's 2 Medivacs full of units that are out of position, is moving through the center of the map, and he's just going to go and try and kill Jinro. He's going to catch a small force here out of position, trying to juke those EMPs, doing a pretty good job of it, focus firing those ghosts once again, and these Colossus are doing massive damage. He hasn't even used these Templars yet. This is looking really, really bad for Jinro.
Those ghosts are... Oh, he was actually let the ghosts die to those Colossus before he could get any EMPs off on the Templar. And these storms are going to chew his units up. There's really... I see Jinro GGing very soon.
Yeah, and look at this. Once again, MC, he attacked up the ramp. Jinro had really good positioning. And once he got down to the really expensive units, the Colossus and the Templar, he backed off. Jinro GG's anyway, but he was just going to wait... So it seems like he just wants to sacrifice the gateway units, keep everything else alive. He was just doing a really good job there of controlling his units, and he got so far ahead of Jinro. He had very, very little options of coming back in that game.
I was kind of surprised that, when you go for the Marine Marauder composition against Protoss, you have to really take advantage of the mobility, the ability to, separate out your units into small groups to constantly do multi-pronged attacks, while, Protoss generally tends to stick in one ball. And he wasn't able to do that much harass because MC was just completely on top of it, Every time he tried to drop, MC was like, you know what, I've got this. He would get like a 1 pylon max before getting chased out.
Yeah, and that Orb Prism on the top of the map, still sitting there. So apparently MC was just trolling us. He wanted to try and get something to happen there, but he didn't get the opportunity, and then just went for the straight up, I'm going to kill you in the late games, so... I just wound up sitting there, going, I'm a Warp Prism, and hey, it's a Warp Prism that didn't die, so I mean, I guess that's a success in its own right, because when does that ever happen? So thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got more games for you tomorrow when Sheth is going to be casting. We're sorry about the audio problems. It would have required too much effort with taking down the stream to fix, so we're just trying to deal with it on the fly. They will be better tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. White Raw versus Idra is going to be the big match tomorrow. It'll be myself and Sheth casting. Thanks again to Elaine for coming along. You can check out her Twitter at Elaine_Sun. It was great having you here. Sorry about the sound issues.
Hopefully those get fixed for tomorrow's epic cast with Sheth, though. I love Sheth. He's the man.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Myself and Sheth are going to be casting the remainder of the round of 16. We will have the sound issues fixed. Sorry about that, guys. And it's going to be some really epic matches.
Or tomorrow afternoon, rather, I will be casting with Gunrun, helping out with the casting for my friends at RageQuit weekly tournament. So check that out on RageQuit and GLHF in the afternoon. It'll be, it starts at, I believe, 1900 CET.
I don't know.
Should be before this starts.
I don't know what the conversion of that is. So.
It's 1900 CET is 1 p.m. EDT.
Yeah, so 1 p.m. Eastern, so that's going to be going on.
So you're trying to catch that and then catch this.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Thanks for coming along. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for the epic cast with Sheth. It's going to have White Raw versus Idra. Let me look at the other matches for you. It's also going to include Shouty versus San, who did really awesome in the previous round. Really curious to see what he's going to do against San. Got Dignitas Show against Startail Ace. And then the match that was delayed, Damaga against Todd, hopefully will be tomorrow as well. So we've got a really nice lineup of games for you on our second day of the round of 16. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Visit our other pages. You can see them, youtube.com/iCCupTV, twitter.com/iCCupTV, and facebook.com/iCCupTV, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
I did post a link to that weekly tournament in the chat if you want to check that out. We have some great players like Damaga, TLO, Satini, Mana, Tarson, etc. It's a cool, crazy lineup. Go check it out.
Right.
Nuclear launch detected. That's what it is. Thanks for having me here. It was a really, really awesome night of games. MC versus Jinro.
Yeah.
A little bit one-sided.
I was hoping for some closer games, but it's still quite a bit of fun to watch. Yeah, more epic games tomorrow, so make sure you tune in.